heck of a win out there today. Just what does it say about your team to show resiliency after being just one run through the first 7 innings of the game?
Well, I mean, you got to credit the other side. Connor Williford threw a heck of a game. If you haven't noticed his box scores recently, he's been getting deep into every game he's had for some time now. And with Grant Taylor throwing on their first game, and then that kid coming in and throwing on their second game, a lot of guys, he's kind of going hidden. A lot of people don't think that, haven't given him much credit for pitching super well, and he really has. He's thrown exceptionally well and been really consistent for him. And so credit to him. And we were able to, chip away when we needed to at the end of that game and do enough. And the grit and determination was really nice to see.
Was there a feeling in the bullpen kind of, or in the dugout saying if we can get to their bullpen, we're going to start chipping away? Or was it, hey, let's get to this guy the 4th time through? Was there the feeling of?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think that our guys felt like they were going to win somehow, some way. They didn't know how.
You guys have any dugout talks between the 7th and the 8th inning?
Yeah, we just told them to stay with the game plan and just more or less relax, but be the more competitive group. And felt like it was a big crowd today, but it wasn't a super loud crowd until that 1 inning, and so that we didn't give them a bunch to cheer about, and that's probably why. But nevertheless, just told the guys to keep fighting and grinding.
Well, so 3 hits today, gets that 8th inning, gets it really started, bringing in 2 on that double. What was it like to see him kind of get back into it and have that last one a really hard hit ball?
Really good. He was the guy that was scuffling, and then he got a big hit. I think it was yesterday for 3 RBIs, a base hit up the middle, a double or something like that. And then today he had I think it was probably the game-winning hit. And just when your middle of the order guys are doing that good with Mason Neville setting him up, and then in that inning, Drew Smith leading us off. He didn't have an awesome offensive game, but we got an awesome at-bat out of him when we needed it in the 8th.
Quality start from Grayson tonight. How big was that, not only for tonight, but with Scottsdale looming next week?
Well, Scottsdale's not in my mind, but Grayson's start is, and Grayson was really good tonight. He walked those 2 guys, I think, in that 1 inning, and one of them scored, and that was disappointing. I thought that he could have gone deeper in the game. We could have left him out there, especially with the left-on-left matchup, leading the next inning off. Chose not to, because he was at 92 pitches. He'd thrown a very good game.
Two incredible games so far, back-to-back victories. You guys are still looking for your first conference sweep of the season in the final series. Is there anything that's going to be done differently? Anything going into this last game to hopefully get that sweep for you guys?
Well, I don't know. We might need to sacrifice a live chicken somewhere or a live rooster or whatever the movie's line is. I'm not sure what that is, but we need to do something to where we can hopefully get this done tomorrow. And we're on a serious note. We just, we're going to stay consistent and prepare them. And I think if they bring the same determination and grit, then I like our chances. And so hopefully we can pull that off tomorrow. That'd be a big one.
Last night, RJ stayed after, kind of took a moment to himself on the mound. What does this group of seniors that's playing their last game at PK Park tomorrow mean to this program?
Yeah, I reminded RJ that he's got another year of eligibility left, and that we're not going to let him walk out of the program, too quick. And so, he appreciated that, I think, today when we talked about that. And I saw the stuff that was out there about him walking around the mound and taking it all in, which is fine. But, funny things happen in a game of baseball. Last year, when we got into postseason play at the tournament in Scottsdale, and maybe a little bit before that, but we wouldn't know. Once we found out where we were going, we didn't know we were going to be coming back and hosting a super regional at PK Park. And so, all that kind of stuff, it's nice for the fans, it's nice for the media, but you just keep playing hard. You never know what's going to happen. Are we going to be at home? Are we not going to be at home? I personally think that, I don't know how things are going to shake out, but if we end up finishing second place in this conference, boy, I don't think it's only happened but a couple of times in the history of the Pac-12 or Pac-10 conference that the top 2 teams in the league don't host a regional. So, we'll see if they respect the fact that the Pac-12 conference has got more national championships than all the other leagues combined. And, that's not a made-up number, that's a fact. And so when the committee looks at stuff like that, I'm sure the respectful people on that committee are going to appreciate that and reward the first 2 teams in our conference with host sites with regionals, and hopefully one of those would be us.
You said you're not focused on Scottsdale, but last night you said you're paying attention to the other scores that are happening. Number 2 seed's still at play. What does that mean to this group for tomorrow?
Well, we're playing for a number 2 seed because a number 2 seed indicates second place in the league, which, like I just said, indicates in my opinion, for what it's worth, I think historically the second seed in the Pac-12 conference should be hosting a regional, and so that's what we've got on our plate. And if we need to go to Scottsdale and win that tournament, then great. That'll be fun when we get a chance to go and win that tournament, because that's any tournament when we go to it, we're going to play to win it. But first things first, we're not thinking about Scottsdale. We're thinking about tomorrow, and boy, there's a lot for us to be able to get better at, and sweeping a team would be awfully nice in this conference.
How's Grayson grown this year? The last conference series for him, he had a pretty solid year. Just from what you've seen him and in this role he's taken this year, how's he grown?
Yeah, and I mean, even this last week, good question. Even this last week, him and Coach Hawksworth are working on his slider and his curveball and metrically, and he was learning even this week with some things, tinkering. We saw it become effective, I think, in the third at bat to their 6-hole guy. It was an effective pitch that he made, and that was something he was working on all week. And he just continues to improve. He was an outfielder in high school that pitched, and now he's a pitcher that dreams to be an outfielder. And he's just a really good pitcher and a great kid, and his competitiveness is what puts him over the top.
Bryce just missed 2 home runs yesterday. Finally connects here in the 8th inning. Just what was that moment like down there in the dugout? Just when Bryce got that ball and hit it out.
Well, pretty good. Coach Lanning was out at BP today, and he was standing behind the cage watching batting practice for the first time. And I encouraged him to come back out and take some swings himself, because we want to see how big a boy he is with hitting the ball out of PK Park, or Tosh, or any of those guys. They're always welcome. But it was a lot of fun to have him out and watch Bryce take batting practice, and then for Bryce to be able to get in one and get it over the fence, and the guy not rob it. I think 2 balls got robbed last night that could have been home runs off his bat, and so he's usually doing the robbing. Last night he got robbed a couple times, and then tonight he hit one so far that they couldn't get it, so good for him.